I would love to be a WWE superstar. I definitely have to go through some training because I'm pretty weak right now. I'm like starting to try to work out a little bit just in case anyone wants to offer me up on a position. But yeah, like it was always my dream to be a WWE superstar.
ProWrestlingSheet.com.
All right, well, let's get right into this. I don't want to waste too much of your time. So admittedly, I'm a Bachelor fan. When I first started dating my girlfriend, she agreed to watch wrestling if I would watch the Bachelor shows with her. And so, it was a fair deal. Both long and they both have a lot of drama. And so I can get into it. It's something I like. I watch all of them. So I was very familiar with you prior to you making an appearance on Monday Night Raw. We watched Bachelor in Paradise where you were a central figure in all of that. So I was excited when I saw you on there. My girlfriend, she was watching downstairs Raw. I was watching upstairs that night, and I literally heard her scream from downstairs, like, "Oh my God!" Because she's like the biggest fan of yours. And so, I just want to know, how did this all come about? I know that you're a wrestling fan. You've talked about it before. But who reached out to who? Where did this all happen from?
Honestly, I just randomly got a call from my agent, and he was like, "I've got something big for you." And he was like, "You're not gonna believe it." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, WWE reached out and they want you to come out or they want you to like do an audition for Monday Night Raw and like all this stuff. And I was like, "You're kidding me. Like, I'm obsessed with WWE." Like I couldn't even believe it. Because before The Bachelor, even on my Bachelor, like ABC bio, it says I'm a huge fan of the WWE on there. And so it used to be like my dream, like, and it still was at the time, like to get to be on WWE at some point in my life. And so I was like, what? I was like, this is so random, like in the middle of quarantine, like what is happening to me? So I was super stoked about it. And then, then I like a little audition.
So was the first episode when you were on the show, was that the audition or did you have to like do something before that?
I did something before that. It was like super funny. Like, so I have a water bottle with me. So like I had a water bottle pretending like it was a microphone, and I like did like these little skits that they gave me. And then I just talked about like why I like WWE and like, my history and athleticism and stuff like that.
That's awesome. So, I mean, how long have you been a wrestling fan? Is this a lifelong wrestling fan kind of thing?
No, definitely not lifelong. So I watched it a little bit as a kid, but I don't really remember. I do remember that the first like famous person I ever saw in my life was in New York City, and it was Hulk Hogan. And I saw that mustache from a mile away, And then so I started watching Total Divas on E. And then I was telling my friend, my really close friend about it. And she was like, "You like Total Divas?" She was like, "Well, I love wrestling. I'm obsessed with wrestling." She was like, "Just watch it with me and like, you'll like see if you can get into it." So that was like probably now like 3 or 4 years ago. And then I got super into it with her. Like we would watch every Monday, every Tuesday SmackDown. I don't know. I fell off.
It was for a long time, but now it's on Fridays.
Oh, okay. So we would watch it all the time, and mainly like I was just obsessed with the storyline of the women going from being like not, respected like in the past, and like we would watch old clips on YouTube and everything too. So it wasn't like I got some history lessons. So I was really interested in seeing the women going from like not being respected to now being like called like the divas and like super focused on the women, and the women are doing really awesome things in the business and like with WWE, and it like gave me the chills. I remember I'd like cry watching matches. I was like, this is so awesome. And so, yeah, in the past year, I've kind of like fallen off. I haven't really kept up because I've just been so busy. But now that I'm like in the scene, actually, I'm like catching up with everything.
It actually amazes me how much how much wrestling fans, like the diehard wrestling fans, will underestimate how much Total Divas and Total Bellas really brought a new female fan base to WWE TV. Like I all the time have friends that are women that'll tell me like, "Oh yeah, like you cover wrestling? That's like the Total Divas thing. I watch Total Divas. I love that show. I started watching wrestling because of it." Or I've had 2 female writers for my website who started watching wrestling because of Total Divas, and then they got so passionate they wanted to start writing about it. So it's really cool to hear that something like Total Divas got you involved.
Yeah, it's really cool that it was a really good idea for them to start that show.
Yes, definitely.
It paid off. It really paid off.
Now, because you're a fan, What has the experience been like for you being backstage and getting to be part of the show now? I mean, it's got to be a trip to kind of be on the other side of it now.
Oh my gosh. So I've done it for like probably like I've been there once every week for a month now.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, very intimidating. I'm a small girl. And I mean, these guys, I joke around now and I'm like, oh, the boys are playing out there because they're like loud and they're huge and they're rowdy. And it's like, I don't know, it's very intimidating at first. And especially with the girls too, because they look so cool and like, they have on all this gear and I'm like, I don't want to get in your way. Like, I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do. But now it's getting to the point where like, I talk to everybody a lot and like I joke around with everyone and like, everyone like is learning my name. I'm learning everyone else's names and, they're wonderful people. There's not been one rude person I've met at WWE. And it's really fun. I really like it a lot now. Like I'm starting to have a lot more fun with it now that I'm not like so shy and like, intimidated by everyone, all these big wrestlers and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be tough when they're like a full family that you're stepping into and they all know each other. And it's like, it's a respect-based business where everybody, wants to make sure that you're not trying to take advantage of the business and that kind of stuff. So it's cool to hear that everyone's being so welcoming to you there. Oh
yeah, like open arms. Like I have like so many like inside jokes with so many people now and like, we all give each other like a hard time and it's really been so wonderful. Like I can't even believe it. I like thought that there was like maybe people are gonna be mean because they're so like mean on TV and stuff, but no, they're so nice.
Is there anyone in particular that you've grown close with over these past few weeks that you haven't been on TV with?
Well, that I haven't been on TV with? Yeah, Ricochet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, me and Ricochet are pretty tight. I really like him. And then Natalia, like me and Natty were really cool too. I love seeing her. Oh, and Lana. Me and Lana, super tight. She lives around here and she actually wants me to like go to the pool with her sometime soon. She's really
nice.
And we always
that's rad.
Same flight home together. We're always like, hey, in the airport, and then we'll like sit there and chat for a while. I really like her.
Yeah, I'm sure she's a chatter, so I'm sure that's nice.
Oh, and of course Nia. Like whenever I see Nia, I'm always like, ah!
Were they Bachelor fans as well? I mean, is that kind of like, were they kind of quick to recognize you as well?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that maybe like word of mouth got around and they like knew like, oh, this is Demi, she's from The Bachelor and stuff. But like, I mean, all the girls are so sweet to me. Like, it's really great. Yeah, I love them all. I love Zelina. I love Charlie. I love all of them. It's anyone that I talk to, I swear it's a great time.
That's awesome. That's great. How's it been working with Angel Garza the past few weeks?
Oh, I'm probably like the closest to him. I really, really enjoy whenever me and him like get to talk and stuff. And I don't know, he's a lot of fun. We just laugh around and he we make fun of each other and stuff like that. Like he's really great. And he's a really good sport about like everything. And he definitely helped me like feel more comfortable with all of it. Cause I was like, I think that you're married. Like, this is weird. And he was like, oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I know people always say that all the time. They're like, they showed him getting engaged on NXT. Like, but whatever. Like,
I'm just like, come on, people. We're putting on a show for you. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I like the stuff you've had with Charlie on screen too. Just the little teases between the two of you as well have been fun.
Yes, it has been fun. I'm so interested by her. She's so good at what she does, like whenever you're behind the camera like that, and especially if it's a live show, like it's intimidating,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she just rocks it. She's so good at it. She's so good at being like that reporter. Like she's so good with her faces. I really like Charlie.
It used to amaze me when I worked on WWE Backstage and I would see Renee Young in action doing something similar where it's like doing her broadcaster thing, but just making it look so easy. And I would just be standing there in awe, like, she is so good at this.
Making it look so easy. Meanwhile, I'm over there sweating bullets and I'm like, don't mess up this line. Don't mess up this. Don't mess this up. Like, come on. I'm like, you can have lines. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, it was all off the cuff, obviously. Have you enjoyed working with the Viking Raiders too? I like the chemistry you've had with Eric.
Yeah, yes, it's a lot of fun working with them too. I love Ivar. He's so sweet. Every time I see him, I'm like, Ivar.
Or Ivar, that's what I said. Eric. I'm still so used to getting used to their new names.
I do Yeah, I know they changed it. I mean, there is like a relationship with Eric too. I think Eric's like annoyed with me perpetually because I'm always messing with Ivar, you know? He's like, I'm a distraction.
I love the whole turkey leg thing too. It was such like a relatable thing.
Me too. I really hope at one point I get to throw a turkey leg into the ring because, like, on my season of The Bachelor, I threw a turkey leg onto a stage. So it's like, why these turkey legs are just becoming like some kind of symbol in my life.
Well, you mentioned being, around the ring and stuff. Do you want to get in the ring at all?
I mean, of course, I would love to be a WWE superstar. I definitely have to go through some training because I'm pretty weak right now. I'm like starting to try to work out a little bit just in case anyone wants to offer me up in a position. But yeah, like it was always my dream to be a WWE superstar. It's very, very more intense though in real life than like it looks on TV. Like whenever you watch it in real life, you're like, wow, these people are putting their bodies through it. And I mean, I think I could do it though. Like, I think I could have the right attitude, and whenever I put my mind to it, I can be very athletic.
Is training something that interests you? Do you think you might maybe give it a shot a little bit if the interest is there from the WWE side of things?
Yeah, I would definitely give it a shot. I would at least try it. I would never be able to forgive myself if I didn't like take the chance and give it a go.
So right now, is it still just kind of like each time they call you kind of thing? Or do you know how long you might be working with WWE for the time being? Is it kind of like they keep calling you, or what's the deal? People are kind of wondering.
I don't know. It's honestly, whenever they call me, it's like a one-time thing. They're like, okay, there's a flight tomorrow for you. Like, if you want to come, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm coming. Of course I'm coming. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we'll have to, I'll discuss that with them. Like, see what they want from me. I'll just have to see what they want from me. But right now, I'm having a good time, enjoying it, and very grateful that I even, like, got this position.
Totally. On the Bachelor side of things, since I know, you obviously know all the people involved in the Bachelor franchise, which Bachelor contestants do you think would make the best wrestlers?
My friend Katie Morton, she was on my season. She was on Paradise. She would be an amazing wrestler. And I think Hannah Brown would be a really good wrestler too.
Really? You think so?
Oh yeah. They both like work out a lot. They're both very competitive. I think that they would be great wrestlers.
I feel like Chad would be a good wrestler. He'd be a good heel.
Oh my God, he would be the best heel ever. Oh my God, Chad would be so good. I think like JPJ would probably be good too. He would be like, I don't know, he could go either way, but I could just see JPJ like, like throwing somebody down and then getting up and like slicking his hair back. You know what I mean?
The Matt Riddle vibes there. I could see it.
I heard that Tyler Cameron wanted to be in the WWE. I think I heard that he even tried out, or maybe he was thinking about it or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd love to watch him wrestle.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, definitely. And then Kenny's already a wrestler, so technically, I guess he's technically the winner of that question.
I totally forgot that he was a wrestler. I forgot about good old Kenny.
So after your brief interaction with Retribution this week, there were some theories out there about how this group did start showing up around the same time as you showing up on Raw, and that maybe you're involved with them. What do you think about people saying that?
These people should know I'm clueless as to what I'm doing. But who knows? Maybe I am. I guess we'll find out.
And lastly, tell me a little bit about your podcast. It's Big Demi Energy. I heard you might be having some wrestlers on there as guests in the near future.
Yes, I am going to start having some WWE people on there. Basically, I started a podcast during quarantine, had no idea what I was doing. Started off like a little bit slow and like kind of unorganized, a little scattered. Now I feel like I'm getting more structured with it, learning how to do it better, getting more comfortable doing it. I had my first like in studio session since I've been in quarantine this whole time. I finally got to go in the studio recently, and it was a whole different vibe. I don't know. It's definitely taking off. It's getting a lot better. I'm getting better, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. We talk about relationships. I talk about really dumb stuff sometimes, like random fun facts, just because I love learning new things. Talk about, what everyone's doing during quarantine, interviewing reality stars and now WWE superstars. So yeah, it's definitely a good listen. It's lighthearted and sometimes it gets a little deep. So if you're in the mood to cry sometimes, it's good for that.
Everyone
Just
loves a good cry every once in a while you're driving around, you know?
And yeah, well, it kind of just makes, I want it to be relatable. So, sometimes, like, I'm not always happy, confident Demi. Like, there's times where I'm insecure, emotional Demi. And so I think it's very relatable, honestly.
That's great. And honestly, it's nice having something to do in quarantine like that, when you just have some kind of creative outlet that you can kind of like pour yourself into, so you're not focused on the fact that you're just like stuck at home all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I go WWE, COVID testing, and then temperature testing, and then I go home, and then I'm like podcast, and Instagram ads, and then I'm like, oh, back to Florida, back to another COVID test. I've had so many swabs shoved up my nose, can't even tell you.
I mean, it's great that they're doing that, though. I mean, it's much better than not testing everybody.
Oh, yeah. It makes me feel a lot better. Like, I don't mind it at all. But, I mean, it is a little uncomfortable, like, the swab. But I'm very glad that they're doing it. And I'm just, every time they're like, your test came back negative. And I'm like, yeah. How did I avoid this?
It must be cool switching from the Performance Center to the Amway Center, too, and being, like, in an actual arena now with them.
That was the coolest. That, like, the first day that I went to that arena, like, I was like, oh my gosh, it was the best day that I had there yet. It was so much better. It was so much better. I don't even know what it is. It's like the whole vibe, I guess. Like, everyone's like, running around all in the arena. Like, you see everyone, you've got like hair and makeup and like I don't know. It was just so much cooler. And then getting to like walk down the ramp with Garza, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, you probably actually felt like a WWE superstar at that point.
Yeah, I did. I just like closed one eye so I didn't see him. So I like pretended like it was my own thing, I had to walk out by myself, but I'll take it.
In time, you'll get there.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for giving me your time. What day does your podcast drop each week so people can make sure they go check it out?
Always on Wednesdays, Big Demi Energy. You can see it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast One, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun.
ProWrestlingSheet.com